We are halfway through February of 2025, and today we'll be going through a bunch of sealed products that you can pick up this month or going into March as well that are pretty good for the long term and at a reasonably good price. We know everything is getting silly expensive right now and of course hard to find, especially here and over in the US as well. Well, today I'll be going through 5 great products to pick up right now, which are not going to break the bank, but are going to be good for that long term as well. We have an honorable mention. We're looking at TCG Player today. Let's get into it. Okay, starting off as an honorable mention, we have Pokemon Go. I know you may be thinking, Jace, how do we get here, right? How do we get at talking about Pokemon Go as a good pickup? Right, so if you take a look at the Scarlet and Violet era, everything is going just absolutely crazy. And people also looking back at the Sword and Shield era, and things pretty much across the board have been going up and doing incredibly well. And even when we start to look at some of the kind of weaker performing sets of the Sword and Shield era, so things like Pokemon Go, Vivid Voltage, Dancer Blaze, even Battle Stars, you start to look at those and you start thinking, hang on a second, they're also making moves in going up in value. There's something to be had here. So let's take a look at Pokemon Go. ETBs, okay? So the price of an ETB in the past 3 months has gone up by 59, basically 60%, okay? We are talking about a product which no one really cared about. We go back a year ago and we could see the sudden boom of Pokemon Go, and it has just gone like to the moon, right? We were looking at this ETB going around $40, even below $40 for literally what feels like forever. I remember picking this up with like 25 in ETB, and like nobody was buying it. Like nobody was picking this stuff up. It was a pretty weak set. I must admit, I rate it as probably one of the lowest and poorest, just trash, to be honest, set of Sword and Shield era. And you know, if you don't really care about the set, as in like you don't really care about the cards in the set, you just want to go and get it for that potential sweet returns and for a cheaper option, then this is a good one. Now for me, I like the idea of Pokemon Go, but a small amount. Maybe because I don't think the ceiling is going to be incredibly high. That's why I've just put it as an honorable mention on the basis of the fact that it is cheap, okay? Especially for a Sword and Shield era ETB, and especially for like a specialty set, right? But yeah, it has gone incredibly well over the past month as well, 15%. But man, that's a huge gain, up 55% on the year. Keep an eye out for Pokemon Go. We could be seeing it reach $100 in ETB. That would be quite impressive for it to be like on the same level as Champion's Path. But yeah, honorable mention, Pokemon Go, bit of a weird one. Here in the UK, you're looking, I don't know, they're like 40, 50 pounds. So yeah, really interesting one, but I'll just put it as an honorable mention for a bit of fun. Sticking with specialty sets, in at number 5, we have Shining Fates ETB. Now is a good time to talk about Shining Fates. Why? Because of Paldean Fates. Paldean Fates has reached $100 in ETB. I was going to include on this list, but the things with Paldean Fates is it's already getting quite expensive and very difficult to get hold of. Shining Fates was heavily printed, like insanely printed. I talked about Shining Fates, I don't know now, maybe 2.5 years ago, on how good I felt like Shining Fates was, and then it kind of fell out of favor. And I think due to the mass reprints, it just took so long to really get going again. Well, that's not really the case anymore, especially in the crazy boom that we're in right now. We see a Shining Fates ETB go for around $76, with a 46% increase over the past 3 months. If we look back on the past year, and it'll give us a better indication of basically what's happened. Similar to Pokemon Go, but Shining Fates is way better in my opinion. Yeah, this set is actually climbing very well. I mean, I still like Hidden Fates as my go-to Fate set, then Paldean, then Shining. But yeah, still pretty impressive that it's now seeing some real big growth. I mean, 68% in a year is very, very impressive, especially for a set that is so heavily printed. And this goes to show that even if a set is printed into the ground, it still can have gains in the future. And this is just a testament to it. I mean, absolutely incredible. And yeah, I mean, now, it's quite difficult to get hold of. I mean, they're not that easy to find unless you go, obviously, secondary market. And yeah, I think over here you're looking around about 60 in ETB now or more. So yeah, Shining Fates is going up, it's making moves. Could reach 100, potentially by the end of the year, which would be pretty impressive for a set which most people deem just terrible just because of how much it got printed. Next up, we've got the Iono Milk Carton, the Premium Tournament Collection boxes. I highly rate all of these products. from the Marnie one all the way to Iono, and then soon we're going to have the Lily Premium Tournament Collection box, which is looking very, very promising. So this one I've actually bought myself, and I think this is a good one not only to open right now, but to also keep sealed. And the reason behind it is because of the Iono promo itself. Similar to the Marnie one, where Marnie was a very strong promo, you had some okay sets in it. If you actually look at the Marnie one, the sets that are featured in that box are pretty poor. The early Sword and Shield, like pre-Evolving Skies, are not very good at all. But with the Marnie one, it was the promo that really carried it and made it have such a good high price. Then you had like the Juniper one. Now the Juniper one, in my opinion, is actually the best value for money because you do get Evolving Skies in it. And then they brought out some of the others, I think the Clara and Cyrus. They're okay, not the best. The downside though with this Iono one is it only comes with 6 packs. It does come with 1 Lost Origin, and then all the rest are early Scarlet and Violet. So you can be like, it's not the best. Similar to the Marnie, not the best. But it's the promo. The Iono promo is actually making huge gains. And so is this product, right? It's gone up 62% over the past 3 months, reaching $55. Keep an eye out for this one. Really good. I mean, the promo itself, the Iono promo is like $20 plus now. So nearly half the box is the promo. So that's very, very promising. We go back over a year. This product hasn't been out a full year, of course, but it came out quite high and it's been doing relatively well. I mean, I don't think it's doing it properly, but we look back, basically, okay, so you only really looked at the past 3 months. Very, very impressive. Yeah, 62%. Over here in the UK, you can pick these up still for about £40, I believe, which is pretty good. I managed to pick mine up from an online store, and I think it was something like £36 if you bought like a case of 4. So I had 36 each, which I think is a really good deal. So overall, really good product. It's one of the cheaper ones that we're going to feature today, which I think is pretty good. And I do think it's one where you just don't sleep on it, right? Just because of the Iono promo and the power of this trainer is just too strong right now. Coming in number 3, we have Celebrations ETB. We're coming up to the 30th anniversary, which is out next year. And I do believe that these celebrations, anything celebrations really, is going to start climbing. And the reason why is because we started to see Generations make a real big climb during the release of Celebrations. So the 20th anniversary product was doing very well when the 25th anniversary product came out. So you would like to think that the 20th anniversary product would do well when the 30th anniversary product comes out. We've been seeing single cards and Celebrations also start climbing as well. The Charizard, the Umbreon, and I believe even the Magikarp as well. But things are actually climbing in Celebrations. So I was like, you know what? Let's take a look at the ETB. And the ETB, we're looking around $120 market value right now, up nearly 40% over the past 3 months. We go back over the past year, and it's gone up 55. And it's sat around the 70 to 80 mark for the longest time. Probably about a year and a half, or even longer. Now, everyone was talking about the UPC, the Pokemon Center version, and so on and so forth. But just the regular ETB is pretty solid. You do get like 10 packs inside of Celebrations, plus 5 of the early Sword and Shield era sets. I highly rate the product. I highly rate the set. I think Celebrations is it's just such a good set. It really is fun to open. And it is the 25th anniversary product. Yes, there's lots of variants of Celebrations, unlike Generations. But yeah, I think right now, Celebrations is going to do well. We don't know what the 30th anniversary product is going to be when it comes out next year, but I expect this to continue to climb. And like I say, it hasn't really seen much growth, it hasn't seen insane growth as I would like to think, with Celebrations, but gaining 55% over the past year is very good. And that most of that is basically in the last 3-4 months. So keep that in mind. Of course, we're in a pretty, booming market right now. And even the least likely items are climbing. So keep that in mind, of course. But I do think this will see some real big gains when the 30th anniversary comes out next year, because that's going to be a big one. Coming number 2, we have the cheapest booster box from Sword and Shield. Everyone is just absolutely losing it right now with Scarlet and Violet. Most Scarlet and Violet era sets are more expensive than a Battle Styles booster box as well, which is insane. A lot of Sword and Shield era now are breaking over 200 a piece. I think the only ones that haven't is Battle Styles, Darkness, and Vivid. I think they're the only 3 that haven't broken 200. But yeah, Battle Styles, in my opinion, is a very good one. And the only reason why I say that is because of the alt arts. It was the first of the alt art sets. I know the Battle Styles was heavily printed it didn't get the best reception for the longest time either. You know, a lot of people just kind of brushed over Battle Styles and was going more heavily into things like Chill and Rain and then Evolving Skies. But yeah, Battle Styles, in my opinion, is still pretty good. Up 22% over the past 3 months. I mean, it took ages to break $100, really, to be honest. We go back a year and it was when it broke $100, and since then it's gone up 57%, which is very, very impressive for a set which, again, people, you know, heavily printed, people just didn't like it. You know, similar to Shining Fates, similar to Pokemon Go. It's just doing really, really well. And, you know, I don't expect the ceiling of this set to be incredibly high, but I do expect this to continue to climb. I would, in my opinion, I think it should be long run more than Darkness and Vivid and Rebel Clash even, mainly because it does have the old arts, and the Sleeping Tyranitar is such a big card that I'm surprised that that card hasn't boomed yet. I mean, it might not. I think it's now over $200 raw. But yeah, very, very good Battle Styles. I mean, here in the UK, again, it's sold out on the Pokemon Center website now. To get a hold of this, you're looking at over at $150 a box. Battle Styles is doing bits. And then finally in the top spot, you saw it in the thumbnail, Shrouded Fable, ETB. Now, Shrouded Fable, the reason why I picked this, and I haven't really talked about Shrouded Fable really much at all, to be honest. I did see that a lot of the single prices were going up when I've been looking at certain cards, you know, to pick up in my own collection and things like that. But with Shrouded Fable, hey look, it had a really kind of an awkward release. It was delays. It was kind of squished in between Shrouded. It was also squished in between like Stellar Crown, obviously Surging Sparks, and so on and so forth. It just had a really, really rough release. But am I a fan of the Shrouded Fable set? I mean, it's better than Pokemon Go. That's for dead certain. There are some nice illustration rares in this set. The pull rates seem quite tough as well. In my opinion, it is the weakest of the holiday specialty sets. You know, when you compare it to things like Palladium Fates, Prismatic, and 151, it's just doesn't even come close to any of those sets. However, it has been doing pretty well. So we have $47, so not too bad. Actually climbing, still relatively cheap, which is good. But it has gone up 58% over the past 3 months. This was a $30 ETB, pretty much easily available everywhere. I did hear that it is sold out on the Pokemon Center website over in the US. It's still available here in the UK on the Pokemon Center website at the moment. But I think it will sell out pretty soon, to be honest. I think a lot of people just grabbing anything they can, especially if it's Pokemon Center related. But overall, I do think this is going to be, I don't know, kind of on that same level as Shining Fates Pokemon Go. I don't see it being crazy. Now, you may be thinking, why is it number 1 then on this list? Well, because if you look at everything else, Scarlet and Violet, things are expensive, right? You look at other things, like, there's no booster boxes for this set, right? So we compare it to the other holiday set ETBs. We've got Palladium Fates reaching 100. We've got Prismatic, was it like 120 plus. We have 151, which is crazy money. I don't know, 150, 160, whatever silly amount is now. So this is less than $50. To me, it is a much lower risk than some of the others. So let's take a look. A year ago, obviously, this hasn't been out a year, but it is bouncing back from the dip of $30, which is very, very impressive. So keep that in mind, right? It's getting to where it is at retail. Hey, I think Shrouded Fable might be doing okay. I wouldn't like rank it ridiculously high or anything. Again, I think the ceiling's quite low, but it is cheap. And right now, getting hold of cheap product that's available is a nice appeal. There you have it, guys. Those are my top 5 picks for this month, with a little honorable mention of Pokemon Go. I mean, Shrouded Fable, I've picked up some of the Pokemon Center ETBs. I've got 2 of them behind me. I finally picked them up. I wasn't going to, but in the end, I was like, you know what? Things are booming right now with Shrouded in the market. I want to try and get hold of some Shrouded Fable. So that's pretty much what I've done. And the same with Stellar Crown. Like, I picked up some Stellar Crown. I was going to put Stellar Crown on this list of the Pokemon Center ETBs, but I think they're sold out as well. So I think the regular ETBs for Shrouded Fable was pretty good. And yeah, you just got to, like, go back, I think, to the Sword and Shield era and see what you can find. There are collection boxes as well, and tins, which I'll cover in a different video. I kind of wanted to go for like ETBs and booster boxes today, and the milk cartons, of course. But there are some good collection boxes and tins, which in the past, I probably would have ignored. But because of the market that we're in now, they're actually a pretty good pickup. I mean, I don't tend to go for collection boxes unless they're premium, mainly because they're big and bulky and a bit of a pain to store sometimes. But there are definitely some which are worth getting. So I will be covering that in an upcoming video. But yeah, those are my picks. I think that, you know, looking back at Sword and Shield, you can pick up some goodies, especially when it comes to like Shining Fates and Pokemon Go. And it proves, no matter how much Pokemon print is set into the ground, if it's in a good market, it's going to do very well. And if people really want it, they'll, you know, see the price go up. So that's basically what's happened with Shining Fates and even Pokemon Go. And then, of course, celebrations. 30th anniversary next year is going to be huge. So 25th anniversary product, you know, we're going to start seeing that making moves as well. And then Battle Styles, the cheapest booster box in the Sword and Shield era right now. Nearly the cheapest booster box in both the Scarlet and Violet and Sword and Shield era, which is weird to say. But yeah, Battle Styles is a good one as well. So if you can get hold of that, that'd be a pretty good one. If you made it far into the video and you've enjoyed it, make sure to smash the like button. Make sure to subscribe for more Pokemon content. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments about this list, or would there be any other good products that you think are great to pick up right now? I mean, Prismatic, I didn't include Prismatic in this mainly because reprints are coming. I don't know when, we don't know how much, we don't know what product, but reprints are coming. And I just feel like everything in the moment with Prismatic is probably a little bit just too pricey. I do expect some of the products to go down in price. And the set's relatively new. I mean, I like going for things that are a little bit older. They're a little bit cheaper as well, which is always pretty good. But that's it from me, guys, in today's video. Of course, if you watch more Pokemon content, make sure to click the video on the screen. And of course, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You guys are legends, and I'll see you in the next one.